Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Hang on here a second. We'll get the screen share going on. All right. Yesterday, a real roller coaster of a day. Market all over the place. Last night, fairly active as well. As you can see, some major swings here through the London session. We're actually opening with ever so slightly a gap to the upside, and it looks as though the market's trying to fill that. Just taking a look here at our first in sync signal of the day here on the Eagle. This one occurring right here about a minute after the open, and no problem at all there finding our high probability profit objective. So that was the signal right there, and you can see a minute or so later, we're at our profit target. So a great way to start the day for those of you who like to do that first in sync signal. Of course, you can do it here on the Raptor as well. You don't need to feel left out. Here is your first in sync signal right here. What I mean by in sync is our band is bullish, or in the case of the Raptor, our bands are bullish. And therefore, we're going to be looking for a buy signal. And it occurred right here, again, about a minute or so after the market opened. So a nice way to start the day. And I'm just going to give them a few minutes here to settle in a little bit, see whether we're going to have anything resembling a trend today. After that quick little flurry, the market settling in somewhat. All right, a little bit of a sideways drift. While I'm waiting on that, we'll take a look at. See, I'm not sure. Can that be true? Is the market volatility really that low in the S&P? This, of course, the S&P. I don't know if they'll do the NASDAQ. I've never tried to search it. No. Okay, we won't worry about that right now. But that is awfully low. Especially for this time of the year. It's still early. We're only 5 or 6 minutes into the day. If we get another bounce up here, I may call this a sideways trading range. In which case we can look for the breakout and the retest. Oh, all right. Well, there's a little bit of a break. Let's see if we get a retest on that. Oh, Mickey says, oh, Eric, the liquidity screen that you were looking at was for November the 16th. I'm glad you guys are observant. Oh yeah, last updated November the 16th. No wonder it hasn't changed. Well, I guess I'll stop referencing that. Okay, quite the bearish breakdown. Yeah, Mark says the same. I didn't expect that much of a sharp move lower. I think that caught a few traders by surprise. And Mark picking up a late filter entry signal for a nice little profit. Perhaps this one right here, just reaching its profit objective, then a very, very sharp turn lower. Oh, look at that. Now we're kind of floundering again a bit. So I guess what actually happened up here, we actually had a little bit of a trading range like this. This actually ended up being a slight little trading range. The market breaking out, not being able to hold the breakout. We know it's going to test the bottom end, and then of course it just kept on going. So I think it's fairly safe to say at this point that the market is probably going to be a little bit more bearish today. And as such, I'll probably be looking for selling opportunities. Maybe we'll get something on a pullback. Yeah, not a bad start at all. Mark says I picked up another late filter entry to the short side. Just to review for those of you not familiar with the late filter entry signal, it's peculiar to the Falcon. It occurs when your filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. So by that I mean we have a red trend line, we have red bars, we have a red filter. The filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. The trend line itself never changes color. Very high probability signal. when that occurs. Now, the signal will also be mirrored in most cases on the Raptor, even though the programming is a little bit different on the Raptor. The primary signal generation for the Raptor is still the Falcon. So this signal right here, this #1 signal, pretty much coinciding with that late filter entry signal that we were just looking at on the Raptor. And now we're getting a little bit of a pullback and maybe turning a little bit more bullish again. Wow. It's going to be one of those days, is it? All right, we're still kind of bouncing a little bit. What has me a little concerned is this sharp reversal right here. Making me wonder whether or not that's going to be a bottom. After a very, very strong move lower, all of a sudden prices reject going lower. And what's with that? All right, and here in fact we are starting to get a bit of a bull push. What time is it? Oh dear, it's quarter to the hour. My least favorite time of the day to trade. But yeah, Mark says I'd at least expect a retest of that. I think you're, well, you know what? We could go with either extreme, either 66.70 or 66.10 down here. And here's that ever tempting quarter to the hour signal. Oh, we're going to get a late filter entry here on the Falcon as well. We do have the crossover buy forming here on the Raptor. That's the number one signal. The big question is, which way is the trend going today? Because we've seen a strong move higher, we've seen a strong move lower. What's it going to be? I suppose we could even draw a little trend line like so. So here now the number 3 signal. See if we get a second push on that. Oh dear, waited too long on that one. Look at that thing go. All right. The back and forth continues. Now I'm wondering whether or not this will just be a very, very large bear flag. Here's the move down. If this is going to be a great big bear flag, it's almost shaping up as one. And we'll see a breakout lower, maybe. Not yet. Well, we've got a bit of a delay here. We've got a second push entry on this number 3 signal. I don't really like it when the market runs that far from the signal, and I'm not really happy about its proximity to this high. If they bring me into this trade, I'm not going to have a lot of room to do anything with it. And okay, it looks like I don't need to worry about it. The whole point of using a second push entry is to try to keep you on the right side of the market. Not to get into a trade until it seems as though there's actually some momentum behind the trade. All right, we're getting an early crossover now to the short side, an early cloud cross. Well, I don't know. What do we think? Are the sellers going to go for it? If they do, well, we've already got a first micro-macro cross here to short. That signal has developed. We've got a trend change signal here on the Falcon that we could be working. And we had a warning dot here on the Raptor, but no signal so far. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a signal I want to try to chase down or not. It would be an what I call an early number one signal. See, the number one signal prints when the clouds are fully crossed over. The early number one signal develops just as the clouds are starting to cross. It has all the components of a number one signal, except the clouds are not fully crossed over yet. Well, maybe we're going to get a sideways range. There's our bullish break. See if we can get a bear bar from here. Sorry about that. Seems like my microphone dropped. All I was saying was we have the number one signal, or the parameters for a number one signal about to print. So you can throw your just in case order in there. Here's the number one signal now. Oh, and there's the fill. Let's see if we get any follow through on that. Pretty please. And likewise here now on the eagle, we have a signal. So I'm going to get a stop in play. If I can get another bullish bar here, I'm going to get pretty aggressive with my eagle again. Darn it. All right, if I can get a bullish bar here, I'm going to bring my stops right in below that swing. Come on, you guys. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to roll my stops up there. I'm going to do likewise here on the Raptor. I'll use the primary support line to hide my stop. All right, we'll make these trades the same. There we go. Come on. almost kissed the break-even trigger. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit, make it a little easier to find the break-even. Ooh, got a little giddy up on that one, and we'll get this trade up to break-even now. And I may even choose something a little bit more aggressive, perhaps the bar high-low strategy. Was a little bit of a nail biter there for a moment, but so far, some decent follow through. I think 66, 65, we're near the high of the morning. We are too. 66, 68 half is the high of the morning right now. Ooh, we get a breakout above there. There definitely could be a little bit more follow through. A couple of nice late filter entry signals printing here on the Falcon, back to back late filter entry signals. This one also piggybacking as the trend change signal, but here too, both cases, no real difficulty finding the profit objective. Let's see if we can nurse this trade a little higher. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing not too bad. And where are we relative to the last swing? Yeah, there we go, right there. So printing 66.70, and let's see if we can get above there. That would put us in a position to challenge 6,700. And I think I'm going to really squeeze it now. All right. Okay, well, that was all right. Nice little trade there. Essentially identifying a sideways range, looking for the breakout, looking for the retest, the signal, and then, of course, fortunately, a decent amount of follow through. You can do that really on any chart. You'll see I do it a lot on the Eagle only because it's a little bit easier to identify the sideways ranges. But you can do it on the Raptor, you can do it on the Falcon, even the Hawk if you were inclined. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says, I've hit my goal on 3 trades. Not a bad morning considering the swings. David reminding us consumer confidence news in 2 minutes. And I think that probably just came out. That could have been a little bit of a uptick that we saw right there. So things perhaps a little bit better than the market anticipated. That's usually what happens, you know. It's not so much is the news bullish or bearish. It's how does the market interpret the news? All right, we're kind of bouncing a little bit lower. Oh, Mark says consumer confidence was only slightly worse than expected. Well, that's good, I guess. I guess. All right, back to the hard edge. Now we're getting a little bit of a bullish bounce. All right, another bullish pushback off that hard edge. That was a big rally. You know, I'm looking back here in hindsight, I should have maybe had a little bit more confidence in this red bar buy signal, especially if Steven's got me drawing these trend lines now on these pullbacks. And it works. It helps you show when the market is actually getting some momentum to it again. And very, very nice follow through. So definitely a signal I should have maybe been a little bit more aggressive on. We had the same thing happening here into the hard edge. You could have read this as the hard edge bounce signal. It did not print as a number 3 signal because your clouds were slightly out of sync, but quick little follow up here again with another number 1 signal. So you didn't have to wait too long for another buying opportunity. And you know, quite frankly, if we're trading on a trade quota, my day would be done. You know, I've had 2 successful trades. I've easily met my dollar quota per contract, of course, which would be $100 per contract or better. After that, you earn more by trading more contracts, not necessarily looking for more opportunities. And the temptation is there, you know, the temptation is there to trade more, thinking that you will earn more. But very often you can have the exact opposite result on your day. Yeah, yeah, I caught Mark's comment here a little bit late regarding the news where I mentioned earlier. Mark says, who knows with the news? I stopped worrying about the news over a year ago. Seems to get lost in the daily turmoil of the current administration and is nothing compared to how the market reacts to Twitter these days. How true. How true. The thing with the news is the market's going to do what the market's going to do. And like I say, the market already has a preconceived notion of what the report will yield, whether it's your crude inventory reports or your natural gas reports or your consumer confidence or PMIs or FOMCs or whatever. But if the report is better, if the market interprets the report as being better or worse than what it is expected, then it will react accordingly. So that's why it happens so often, it's actually become a trading axiom that the market will move lower on bullish reports and move higher on bearish reports. Because the bullish report won't be as bullish as the market anticipated, and the bearish report tends not to be as bearish as the market anticipated. You can usually get everything you need from the chart because this is, you know, real money, real people, or real trading computers, but real money being placed on the line here. All right, well, what started off to be looking like it was going to be a pretty bearish day now has turned out to be a fairly bullish day. Somewhere through here, we should get another opportunity, another pullback, perhaps to the hard edge if you're following the Raptor. Maybe, well, at the very least, a trend line touch here in the Falcon, maybe even another late filter entry signal. We're kind of working on that right now. The trend line's still green, the filter now out of sync. You know, very often people think I'm blowing smoke when they ask me, you know, can I make a living trading just, you know, day trading, thinking they have to be glued to their computer all day. And I'll tell them that usually you should be able to make your trading quota within the first hour, sometimes within the first half hour. And they think you're making it up. But as you can see, you know, and I was hardly diligent here this morning. I should have been much more alert. I could have picked up a little bit extra, but even so, I did okay. No point in being greedy. All right, had a little pullback here. The trend line changed color on the Falcon. We may get a trend change signal. That's the next buy signal. Didn't quite get low enough here on the Raptor to produce a hard edge buy signal. And even visually, I'm not sure I would interpret that as one. But it looks like we had pretty good follow through all the same. Wow, really good follow through. We're up to 6,700. I think that was yesterday's highs. Looking here at the daily. Given that the market is more bullish, you could just start to look at picking up any old buy signal if you were inclined. Here's a buy signal right here. You could just throw in your buy signal. Oh, can't afford the stop. But it's almost as though just hop in on any old buy signal and you'll probably do okay. Yeah, Mark says yes, absolutely. You can make your trading quota in that first hour or even half hour sometimes. David here writing a report on my 3-chart Raptor trading. Now, those of you who didn't join us yesterday, I went over an email I got from David. He was curious about running 3 different time frames on his Raptor. He's running a 4-tick brick, an 8-tick brick, and a 12-tick brick, trying to avoid some of the market noise. And in summary, a larger brick will tend to eliminate more market noise and will tend to show you a trend when it develops. So David writes, yesterday was a mess, but your tips yesterday helped my brain. Today went for the first contract with a bigger stop, and after hitting the first, waited for a retrace to go further before going to break even, trying to give price some room. Then break even plus. Now looking to trade crude oil more with the biggest chart at 12 ticks before moving the stop. Goal to get more money with the second contract. I've traded a third of the trades I did yesterday. Been in this trade for almost a half an hour so far. Way to go, David. That's fantastic. All right, well, the trading band is a little bit broad here right now. The market definitely in an uptrend still, but we've got a very, very broad trading band, which, you know, it doesn't mean the market has to reverse, but it does make us prone to a reversal. So if you were looking to get on board for one of these follow-up signals, a second push opportunity is probably the way to go. So here's just your discretionary signal to take. Here's your second push, meaning we've allowed the signal to engage. We see where the market is flinching. And now we can look for a continuation above this. This now becomes our signal bar. Of course, there is always the chance that we're going to see a bit of a retracement back now to the hard edge. So you could treat this also as a test to the extreme and look to short below these lows. A little bit more aggressive, but certainly doable. So you could almost do like an OCO order where we're going to short below here. I'm not going to use my OCO function, but we could short below here. We could buy above here. This technically a number 2 signal, even though we did breach the high, the market failing to head higher. All right, well, everything's in sync now to the short side. We're short on the ATR. I'm going to cancel this order, and I'll get a stop enabled. There we go. It's essentially the same thing. And it's probably advisable, given the strength of the trend, just to look to take profit on target, target being the hard edge here. And I won't get too greedy. There we go. And right now I'm going to force the trade to break even. Hit the break-even trigger, hooray, and that should give us enough follow-through to get to the profit target. Oh, come on. Oh, you stinkers. Just flinched before my profit target. And there they go. So a little added volatility coming into the market now as we're starting to bounce around a bit. And this sideways trading, of course, gives us another opportunity to perhaps project a bit of a sideways trading range. Was this the breakout that's going to fail? If it is, well, we can throw our short order in below here. That's pretty aggressive, just so you know. The market's very much in an uptrend here today. I don't know how much shorting I want to do. That's right, get away from the bottom end here. All right, let's put that away. Don't really have too many other signals printing at the moment. It's a bit of a convoluted mess right now, which is the norm for sideways trading range. When the market is kind of stuck the way it seems to be right now. Could even throw a little bullish trend line there, looking for a bullish break. All right, essentially a rule of 3 signal now on the Eagle. We've got the uptrend, we've got the test of the extreme, we've got 2 counter trend signals. Typically with a rule of 3, we get 3 counter trend signals. And it could be a little bit tighter with my entry. A rule of three signal, again, the counter trend signal on the eagle. As with all counter trend signals, you don't have to trade them. You can simply use them as an early warning that the trend may be ending. Although it looks like they're going to give it a go here. They're awfully close to that support zone. We are getting an early cloud cross here on the Raptor. Well, actually, maybe not. The cloud's only about 50% crossed over. If you're looking to mirror a trade, I can't really say that this is the best one at this point. This is one of these, you got your fingers crossed kind of trades. The fact the market isn't heading any lower is a little bit of a concern. I can see them trying to make a false breakout here only to reverse and head higher. But really, they're really quite stagnant here. If it heads lower, I'll throw in a buy stop above this little swing high, and then I'll see whether the breakout, when it occurs to the short side, actually sticks. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking the same thing here. Mark says it might be a bull flag. That's what has me a little bit on my heels. All right, David posting a chart here, which I'll share in a moment. In the meantime, okay, we're going to get an early cloud cross on the Raptor. I'm going to throw in a buy stop here. And I'm going to look now. We've got the breakout. I'm going to look for the retest. Now, the first bullish bar will show me the limit, the current limit of the sellers, in which case I could throw a sell order below there and essentially have the market in a bit of a bind. We're going to get the same thing happening here now on the Raptor. So the cloud's crossing. There should be a bullish reaction here somewhere. All right. Oh, that's very slight. We've got the warning dot, so the next signal that prints will be the #1 signal to short. And, you know, as before, you can throw your just-in-case order in, looking something like that. Again, with the warning dot, no no real signal just yet. And here I can short on the Eagle as well. So we've got a couple of opportunities now. And okay, I've got to stop and play there. I better get, well, I do have my stop up here, but I will automate it. There we go. And we'll just nurse this trade along a little bit, and then I will share with you David's chart. Wow, come on. All right, so I'm bringing my break-even trigger in. All right, got the break-even on both trades. Hooray. And we're just kissing the profit target. There we go. Got the profit target on the Raptor. I don't know if the Eagle's going to give me much more. I'm going to be pretty aggressive on the stops here as soon as the market gives me a chance, because we had the breakout. There is a chance of a retest. There they go. They're going to try to retest. And then we'll see whether or not the market can stay out and actually head lower. This is just basic price structure. The market tends to do these things over and over again. Once again, you could throw your just in case order below here if you wanted, below that swing low right there. In hindsight, I should have just taken the profit when I had it. All right, so David posting his chart for crude oil, which I will share with you here. There must be a way to enlarge this. All right. Okay, so crude oil. Okay, so I see. You got long here. Stop was down here. That's good. You know, that's an adequate stop. I like to see, if at all possible, that you keep your stop 2 swings back. Out for the first contract. And then the stop was here on the second contract. Market rallied. Very nice. Move stop here for the second contract. And I'm assuming that somewhere through here you may have got stopped out. Looks like the MACD was getting a little bit bearish as well. Well done, David. Yeah, nicely done. You know, the thing with trading is you're going to discover what works for you as a trader. You know, not everybody has the same mindset. Some people are going to be more prone to scalping. Some people are going to be more comfortable holding a trade. And that's fine. There's certainly more than one way to make money trading. But you have to find that fit. You have to find what works for you. Okay, getting a little bearish again here. We got another first micro macro cross signal here on the hawk, working a possible trend change signal lower. Actually, maybe not. We had a red warning dot there that's disappeared. And our number one signal here now on the Raptor, which after a little bit of heat also went down and looks like it found its profit objective. This technically could be a number two signal. Here's your test of the extreme. Here's your counter trend. The band not all that broad. The bigger question is the number two signal counter trend or with trend? Because the bigger trend today does seem to be up, right? So that could actually make it a with trend signal, not a counter trend signal. Sometimes it gets a little tricky keeping all this straight. All right, so we're getting a little bit of a bounce now off of the earlier breakout. This could be your retest, your sell signal. Ooh, and some pretty decent follow through on that so far. While we're waiting, watching and waiting, oh, nuts. Don't tell me I should have got short. Look at that thing go. Okay. While we're watching and waiting, I've gotten quite a few emails. Well, quite a few. A handful of emails regarding the comment I made yesterday about one-on-one coaching. Yes, I still do one-on-one coaching. And yes, you can apply the current Black Friday / Cyber Monday 20% promotional discount to the coaching time as well, if you choose. And if you've been looking at any of the other indicators on Indicator Warehouse, you've been kind of humming and hawing whether or not you want to get one. Well, this is going to be the last sale of the year, so if it's a good opportunity perhaps to add something that you've been thinking about. The promotion does expire tomorrow at midnight Eastern time. Michael's asking about the one-on-one time. Hold on, I will get you guys the link for that. As soon as I find it. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, it does look like the market continuing to slip a little bit lower. I'm thinking that maybe it's going to try to get down to the median line here at 66.65 3/4 before we get the next bounce up. We are producing a late filter entry signal here, which is fairly tempting. Things definitely seem to have slowed somewhat. So maybe a second push on that signal might be a good idea. All right, so regarding the coaching, there are 1 hour and 4 hour blocks available. And they can be split up however you like. That's a 1 hour block there. And then the 4 hour block. So what I mean is, I don't want to do 4 hours all at once. I don't think anybody's ever asked me to do 4 hours all at once. Honestly, your mind kind of clouds over. and there's the 4-hour link. But usually what people will do if they choose to buy a 4-hour chunk is we'll split it into 4 1-hour sessions, or perhaps a couple of 1-hour sessions and then another 4 half-hour sessions. It's helpful if you're struggling with something specific. You know, if there's something you're having a problem with that you just can't seem to wrap your head around, then by all means, go ahead, book some time. We can go through some charts. Like I say, it's good if you have, pardon me, if you have an agenda, if you have a list of things that you want to talk about. So that we can make the most of our time together. All right, it looks like we came back down to the high of opening range, which is where we're bouncing a little bit. Vincent, you're hilarious. He says I'm remedial. I need the entire 4 hours at once. Well, if you want, we'll do it your way. All right. I don't know. Are we back here to like a 50% retrace? Where did we start this morning's rally? It was a huge run up. Let's see. So there's the high. And where was the 50% level? I lost it now. All right, this one right here. Oh, not quite there. I thought if it came down to there, that would make for a very attractive buy, because no doubt there's a lot of traders who have done what I just did. They threw a big 50% retracement on there, looking for the market to recover to that. I'm almost inclined to agree with Mark that maybe this is just going to be a great big bull flag. I might be more inclined to be bearish here. I can't help but think that the buyers aren't going to let go from that monster rally they put in this morning. Like 10 minutes at the start of the day, we put in a huge spike. So once again, here's the daily. Here's yesterday's session. Here's today's session. We've broken the high. I would think a move back to 6,800 would be the next objective. Well, see, you just have to outline it for the market. They're getting a little giddy up now. All right, back now here to the other end of this trading range. Well, we've got an early signal here on the Falcon. The Falcon actually getting bullish. Well, even before that, we had the counter trend signal here on the Raptor. And I fear I might have been a little bit late to the party on this one too. Now that we're back to the hard edge. Things moving in slow motion. If we got a bearish bar here, I might treat it the same way I treat a trading range, where we've seen the breakout, we've seen the limit of the buyers, but I want to see a full bear bar. I just don't want to see a hesitation. Although maybe I'm asking too much. Yeah, there's that little bit of a bull break. Doggone it. Don't run past me, you stinkers. Yeah, there they go. All right, so in hindsight, I suppose I could have been a little bit more aggressive, but hey, that's the beauty of hindsight. Nice to know it's still 2020. If this is going to develop into more of an uptrend, there will be another opportunity to get long here. You can see we've retraced now to the earlier breakout. But I definitely think bullish is the posture we want to have here today. Working a early cloud crossover, we just have the warning dot, don't have the complete signal just yet. Clouds not fully crossed, but they're almost there. They're like 75% of the way there. So I've got my just in case signal waiting. All right, there we go. So we got now the complete number one signal. Come on, don't stop now. I'm running a rather large stop on this trade, and I'd be looking for an excuse to get my stops in a little bit tighter. Kind of getting a little bit close to the lunch hour break as well. And I think what I'll do is I will bring my break even in. So on the next push up, I'll get the break even if we can get another push up. All right, come on, let's go. And we're gonna really jam them up now. Hooray! I wasn't sure they were going to have enough in it to get back here toward, well, we're going to be pushing the highs of the morning here in a second. And look at them go. Nice little follow through on that trade. I'm content with my profit objective. You know, the way the market has been today, no point in being greedy, but really, really good follow through on that. All right, gang. I think we're going to button up shop here for the morning. If you are going to continue trading today, well, it looks like Trade Forecaster says we are moving into scalp mode. Although that was, or we are in scalp mode, even though that was a fairly decent little move higher there without too much pullback to it. After that, we're going to be moving into trend mode. I would encourage you to probably stay long. I would encourage you to look for buying opportunities. Look for pullbacks, look for buy signals, hard edge bounces. I think you probably will do better with that. All right, I will see you again tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.